His strength finds us in His mercy. Together we stand. Lift your voice now.
I'm composer, musical director, and conductor John Paul Pio, and this is the Soli Deo Musical Group.
In the grace of light, where hope ignites and fears take flight. In the grace of light, every soul finds a home tonight. Jesus, we call to you. Jesus, we call to you. Jesus, we call to you.
Shown, forgiveness free, the heart of Jesus we can be. Let His love flow through us bright, guiding all our steps with light. Lead us by your gentle
We're seeing AI tools that don't replace human creativity, but actually augment our capabilities. Yeah.
Sacred music. It's probably the last place you'd expect to find cinematic soundscapes and modern ambient textures. But there's this composer who's completely revolutionizing how we think about devotional music.
You know, I've been following this trend in sacred music, and what John Paul Pio is doing really stands out. The way he blends traditional elements with contemporary sound design is unlike anything I've heard before.
What fascinates me most is his background. He grew up completely immersed in sacred texts and choral singing, where music wasn't just entertainment, it was literally prayer set to melody. That foundation really shows in how he approaches composition.
That's interesting because most artists would feel pressured to choose between traditional and modern approaches, right?
Well, that's exactly what makes his work so unique. In his recent interviews, he talks about seeing classical and contemporary influences as complementary forces. The ancient forms provide structure and depth, while modern textures add what he calls color and immediacy.
You know what really strikes me about his devotional singles? There's often this deceptively simple melodic idea at the center, but then he builds these incredible layers around it.
Oh man, exactly. And have you noticed how he handles his larger sacred projects? They have this cinematic scale to them, like we're talking full orchestral swells and these massive textural landscapes. But somehow they never lose that intimate spiritual core.
That's what I find so fascinating about his creative process. He always starts with these simple, prayerful lines and then builds everything else around them. How does he maintain that balance?
Well, from what I understand, it's all about intentional layering. He describes it like creating sacred architecture in sound. Every element, from the warm harmonies to the ambient textures, serves both a structural and spiritual purpose. And get this, he's actually incorporating traditional elements like Gregorian chant and ancient hymns into these modern frameworks.
So what do you think makes his music resonate with such a wide audience? Because I've noticed it's not just religious listeners who connect with it.
That's such a great question. I think it's because he's created this universal space for contemplation. Like, you don't need to be religious to appreciate how his music helps you slow down and connect with something deeper. He talks about music being a space of encounter. And in our fast-paced world, that's something pretty much everyone is craving.
The technical sophistication behind that is really impressive, though. The way he balances all these different elements must be incredibly complex.
Oh, for sure. And what's particularly fascinating is his approach to narrative in these larger works. He's not just creating beautiful sounds, he's crafting these intricate musical journeys that carry listeners through different emotional and spiritual states. Even his use of silence is intentional, sometimes contemplative, sometimes expectant, sometimes resolving.
That attention to detail really shows his deep understanding of how people experience sacred music, doesn't it?
And you know what's really groundbreaking? He's showing that tradition and innovation can actually enhance each other when approached with care and intention. In doing so, he's creating something that feels both timeless and completely contemporary.
Seems like he's really showing a way forward for sacred music that doesn't require sacrificing either tradition or innovation.